You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end...
What will I become?
Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Hey everyone, before we get to the show, just wanted to announce that we have a brand new sponsor. It's Zencaster. They help us record all of our remote audio with our guests coming on to the show, and we're going to have a link in the show notes if you'd like to start your own podcast and get studio quality sound, or you can listen to Halftime, and we'll talk a little bit more about why we love Zencaster. Enjoy the show.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neal, and as always, I'm joined here by Jeff, Ken, and Matt. How are you all?
Very well, thank you, Neal.
Good.
Good.
Awesome.
And Matt is doing some clerical work here, so you're actually not going to play today, Matt, but I think from what
balancing the books.
I was going to say, you're balancing the books, also trying to keep our bookie from, getting caught, I think.
There's a lot of book-related things I'm doing over here.
You're over at the Vegas sports bet, whatever it is, the MGM Sports Arena, or wherever Jamie Foxx is advertising.
Yeah, 10-team parlays.
10-team, yeah, whatever that means, 10-team parlays. But, we're here today. And Ken, you were telling us about a script that you had to produce in college about names being, used way too much in the dialogue, which is a no-no for screenwriting.
Right, yeah. This was a very bizarre script. I think they picked it because it was bizarre and difficult, and then took a lot of editing to get it to a usable point. But one of the main things was using the character's name in every line of dialogue. Neal.
Right.
It's very unnatural when that happens, Neal.
Well, it doesn't make
Neal, if you ever write a script, you don't want to do that, Neal.
So, Ken, what you're telling me is that if Jeff wanted to write a script, that he'd have to not use names. Is that right, Ken?
That's right, Neal.
Okay. And that makes sense, because you don't want a movie that with the names. It reminds me, in college, I did a similar thing where we all had a different role. And I remember we did a scene from the Dead Poets Society, which was one of them. And one of the students from Jordan and Dubai did a reading of Reservoir Dogs, the table scene. And one of the filmmakers, who was his turn to direct, was a surfer, and he took the camera and he literally sprinted around the table to emulate Quentin Tarantino's, the circular spin, dolly. Yeah. But he sprinted, and he's like, it's going to really up the, the pressure, the tension.
Yeah. Will he tip?
Yeah, and it was completely out of focus.
He won't tip.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, speaking of movies, though, our special guest today, who's going to be a competitor, hosts a podcast that I luckily found through Twitter after interacting with him, sort of talking about the Swayze book that's out there now, and I appreciate everyone who's been getting it, being Patrick Swayze. But he reached out, and I found his podcast, which has been so much fun. I'll let him explain what it is. It's a format that I didn't even know existed in the podcast world, but it's really clever, and there's almost, a version of it for movies that you'll love. But speaking of movies, let's interview and introduce Roger Wistar, coming to us from Northwest Connecticut. And you are the host of what podcast? Is that, Roger?
Oh, hi, Neal. Thanks for having me on. So my wife, Marcy, and I have to make sure to point out that this was her idea. We're the hosts of Roadhouse Minute, the minute-by-minute podcast about the best bad movie of all time, Roadhouse, which is, I guess, how you and I got connected with each other over Twitter. I was going back and rereading that thread. You honestly came to our podcast just sort of coincidentally on Twitter. Is that true?
That is true. Yeah, I had no idea that it existed, and when I saw it, I immediately started listening. So it's been so much fun.
You must be one of our dozen of listeners. Our fan base is small but very committed, and so we've wrapped principal recording on all 114 episodes. I can't believe we've done that. And the podcast comes out 3 times a week. We've published, I think, about 50 episodes now since the start of the year, and you can find it where all great podcasts are being hosted: iTunes, Google, Spotify, all those good things.
What is a minute by minute podcast for anyone who might not know?
So it's it's crazy, but just like it sounds, every episode talks about 1 minute of the movie Roadhouse for approximately 20 to 30 minutes. But it's more than that. I think we go into some detail about all of the people that were in the movie, and we go into a little bit of backstory about how the movie was made. But really, it's just an opportunity for my wife and I and a whole bunch of special guests to just sit around and talk about the movie that we love, because Roadhouse is crazy fun to talk about.
Well, we appreciate you being here. It's a really fun podcast. Make sure to check it out. And if you like that format after listening to Roger and Marcy's podcast, there's just a million of them for different movies: Star Wars, Mission Impossible, Fast and Furious, any movie you could think of. There's a great minute-by-minute podcast in that format.
I'm going to do one for Love by Gaspar Noé.
Wow. Okay. There's a lot of dialogue-free scenes there, but I'm sure there's no shortage of things to talk about. Neal, I'll just add too, since you mentioned that, if you're interested in those sorts of things, of course you should listen to Roadhouse Minute. But if you go to moviesbyminutes.com, that's sort of the central repository. And you're right, there's more than 200 Movies by Minutes podcasts that are out now on the internet, with many more in production. So if you like what you hear on our podcast, I'm sure you can find others that you will enjoy just as much.
Awesome. Well, so Roadhouse obviously is about Dalton, the best damn cooler in the business, and we need a very good cooler, someone to run today's show, just like Dalton does, because it's his way or the highway. So we're going to introduce our host today, coming to us from the Bay Area. He's an Oakland 5 supporter on Patreon, and that is Matt Takimoto. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it, and thank you for becoming a new patron of the show recently. We're so happy to have you supporting us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So, being an Oakland 5 supporter is apt because I teach the 5th grade in Oakland, California. So it really kind of checked out there. I definitely got into trivia during the pandemic when there was nothing else to do. So it was fun stumbling upon Triviality as I dove deeper into the trivia world and getting a chance to listen to some episodes. And that coincided nicely because I got my moment in the sun on Jeopardy this past season. I snuck in between all the super champs and won a game. So that was
congrats.
Wow.
That's so much fun. So that's awesome. So we have a podcaster, we have a Jeopardy alumni. So we are
we're 4 schmucks.
And 4 schmucks, yeah. So we're doing great today. So the teams today are going to be Roger and Jeff and me and Ken. As we said, Matt is going to be sitting out dealing with our bookie. So Roger, you and Jeff are going to partner. What would you like your team name to be today?
Well, in honor of Roadhouse, we are going to call our team the Jasper Improvement Society.
All right. And if you haven't seen the movie, that's basically the shadow company that Wesley uses to bleed the town dry. So Ken, the only way that I know to get a hold of Wesley and get his gaze staring at you longingly is by doing Tai Chi at dawn.
Sounds good. So we'll be Tai Chi at dawn.
Tai Chi at dawn.
All right, let's get the rules and get the game started.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop. Nobody does it better.
All right, we have the rules, so let's get the game started.
Question 1. Just hours before your trivia host was born on February 22nd, 1987, which artist and filmmaker died in Manhattan at the age of 58 following gallbladder surgery?
That was my guess, too. Did they die that young? Oh, I'm sorry. They died at... I was doing my math incorrectly. Yes, that was my guess, so let's just go with that.
Okay, we're locked in.
What are your thoughts,
Wow,
Roger?
Jeff. So this is how it's going to be. Artist and filmmaker. So died in 87 at 57.
58, I believe.
58.
Yeah.
So they were born in like 1929, 1930, somewhere in there.
Artist. The artist.
29, 28 or
artist
29.
part is throwing me off. Artist and filmmaker. Do you have any idea?
I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not great with this stuff. So maybe somebody who would have come to prominence in the 40s then, in their early 20s.
I have no idea, so I'm just going to guess Andy Warhol.
Okay. I'm okay with Andy Warhol.
We guessed Andy Warhol as well, but we don't know really.
Points to both teams.
Whoa!
Great pull at the end there.
Jeff, all right, Jeff, that was my one correct answer. You're going to have to carry me for the rest of the match. All right, I'm feeling pretty good now. All right, here we go.
Yeah, giving artist and filmmaker equal weight was trickier because he's definitely more well-known for the art side. All right, on to question 2. Which tool dates back to Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt as 2 pieces of metal brazed together at one end to form pincers? The name we use today comes from the French word for small case, as they were commonly found inside these carrying cases.
I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but
Oh.
we can let them lock in.
Okay, great.
I don't know if I'm too familiar with this. If it wasn't in Stargate.
We're just picking an answer here, so we're good.
I love me some Stargate.
I thought it was tweezers. What do you think?
Okay. I'm okay with that. Yes, it would be on the smaller side, and it would be 2 pieces of metal fused together. I think tweezers is a good answer.
And it was a French origin name, so tweezer.
Sure. If you
you pronounce it that way, anything sounds French.
Yeah. We said shears, right? So we didn't really know.
All right, and points to the Jasper Improvement Society. It is tweezers.
Hey,
interesting.
Nice one.
They
All
got
right,
splinters back then too.
Yeah, he was teaching kung fu all the way back in Egyptian times.
Or they were plucking lots of things.
Yeah.
All right, question 3. The stigma of the crocus flower is used to make what spice?
I know that one. I'm locked in.
All right. Roger coming in here thinking, I don't know if I'm going to do okay.
hot.
And then just carrying me like this whole time.
So the stigmata of the crocus flower.
Not the stigmata.
Oh, okay.
That's an entirely different situation, Neil. But anytime you want to show me the
crocus.
Yes, exactly. Anytime you want to show me Jim Caviezel carrying crocuses up to the mountain, let me know.
I believe this is the most expensive spice. The yellow or red.
Oh,
saffron.
Saffron. Yes, I think you're right. I think that is the most expensive spice.
And that's what I was going to say as well, saffron.
And points to both teams. It is saffron.
Have any of you ever cooked with saffron before?
No, I'm poor.
I have not.
It's fantastic. I mean, so when you go to the grocery store and you buy saffron, it comes in a jar, but in the jar is like a little tiny envelope. The thing I love the best about saffron is like when you read the unit prices, like you know how they list like here's the price of each thing per pound.
Yeah.
And then for saffron, it's like 5 digits long. Saffron is crazy expensive. You can use it to make paella. That's the only thing I've ever cooked with saffron.
That's what I've used it for is for paella. It's
paella.
Very tasty. Yeah.
All right, enough rich guys. Let's
All right, we'll stay in the food world though for question 4. To turn
ramen
eggs
noodles. Okay, now we're talking.
Some Momofuku questions. All right, no. Question 4. To turn eggs Benedict into eggs Chesapeake, replace or supplement the English muffin with what food item?
Would that be gross?
Yeah.
That would? Okay.
What did he write?
We need to
I
know
need
what
to
you
know what
wrote.
Neil wrote.
That makes sense to me. Just the location of Chesapeake, which I believe is Upper East Coast, kind of, and that makes a lot more sense.
So we're locked in.
Roger, what are your thoughts on this?
All right, I'll tell you what I know, and then hopefully you'll come up with a good answer. So the Chesapeake Bay, where I grew up in Baltimore, is sort of in the middle. It's like right in between Maryland and Virginia. I thought it was going to be Old Bay, but you can't replace an English muffin with a spice.
I love Old Bay seasoning. I put it on fries.
I do too. It's fantastic. But it's got to be something that can carry, it's got to be something like some bread type thing. What do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking either bread or like a hearty vegetable. Because generally, I mean, I've seen people put tomatoes on Eggs Benedict, but it's not always on Eggs Benedict.
You love Eggs Benedict.
I love Eggs Benedict.
You always order it.
I eat it all the time. But Eggs Chesapeake, I'm not familiar with. So I'm not sure if they put it on something like a tomato or a bagel or...
God, I don't know. Whatever you think is best. I'll go with your answer this time.
We'll say toast.
Okay, we did go with the bagel, but Neil originally wrote like fish or something.
Maybe it's just a little fish and they
They're
throw
like-
some sauce
People
on
put
top of
you
a
can get
sauce.
salmon on a.
A steamed crab shell.
Yeah, like a full soft shell crab or something. Anyways, yeah,
Eggs
we
Benedict
said
Arnold.
bagel.
We just said bagel.
So we had bagel and toast. We were actually getting there with the banter. It is a crab cake.
What?
Oh, that makes
I wasn't too
sense.
far off.
They're never going to let me to come
Along
back
with
to my
football,
host
that's
game.
what Maryland
A crab
does.
cake.
Crab
That's right.
cakes.
I figured that world, part of the world, Chesapeake Bay, had to have been some sort
I
of
was
fish.
picturing like a piece of fried
Just-
like perch or something.
I could see it being served on like a salmon fillet.
Yeah, that would be
would-
fine.
that would be good.
But like he
Oh,
wrote
expect-
like fried fish.
Eggs Benedict on a crab cake would be delicious.
Circling back to Old Bay, has anybody had the Old Bay goldfish crackers yet?
No.
That have been going around
No,
the
but
internet?
that sounds
Is this
great.
a thing?
That
I've
it's
never
like I've only seen pictures of it, of like it's a limited edition Old Bay goldfish cracker.
What is Old Bay? A spice?
It's a seasoning, yeah.
It's when
like a
your
seasoning
boyfriend
blend.
or girlfriend is really elderly.
Oh, I was gonna say.
What?
I was gonna say.
Oh, I
have
get
you-
it.
Have you had the Bayhive goldfish, which are just in the shape of Sasha Fierce?
Okay.
It's
Just
very
silence.
specific.
All right.
Well,
all right.
Bayhive.
We get
It's a
what you're
very
saying.
Maryland thing. They use it. It's best known for putting on steamed crabs.
Okay.
You can put that on anything.
But you could put it on anything. If any of you all have ever been to a Bojangles, as I have many times, that's what you get on their French fries.
It is really good on.
I do put it on French fries.
It's been a lot of seasoning talk on this.
I know. I feel like we're
Oh, yeah.
ready to be put on the grill.
All right, let's keep moving here. Question 5. What two-word term with origins in the late 19th century refers to a particular type of xenophobia where Asians are painted as a larger existential threat to the Western world? This anti-Asian sentiment has led to such actions as the Chinese Exclusion Act and the Japanese-American internment during World War II. Randall Park's character's band in the film Always Be My Maybe gets its name from this term.
Oh,
Love that movie.
Me too.
Can I ask you something like a qualifier for this question, just so I don't say something? Would this term be like outdated?
oh, I'm assuming so.
I mean, it kind of still gets used to refer to the, kind of the
But
more
there's a
anti-Asian
portion
xenophobia.
of this question that you would consider outdated.
Sure.
Or racist. Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't want to say something.
I'm pretty sure I do know it.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On the
I think
podcast,
as part of the term, it's it's historical, to say the least.
So Ken, I just watched this like 3 days ago.
The movie?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I know it. They had the song "Tennis Ball" that they sing in the movie, which is really good.
It's a great movie.
Let me write it down. I'm almost positive I know it though. Let me.
I think I know it from a historical perspective too. So let's just confer. And
all right, we're locked in.
Jeff?
Yeah,
I've got an idea, and I think I've been given permission to be low-key racist, so that's what my guess probably will be. What do
Okay,
you think?
Roger, what's your thought on that?
The only thing I wrote down was yellow scare.
Yeah, I think that's an appropriate answer to the question.
yeah, I think Yellow Scare or Yellow Peril.
Yeah, I mean because the band's name is Hello Peril.
Oh, okay.
From the movie.
Yeah, the correct answer is Yellow Peril. I think we can accept
give 'em
Yellow
points,
Scare.
Yeah.
Yellow Terror, Yellow Spectre, also kind of terms that got thrown
Okay.
around during that. But yes, that is the correct answer.
Okay, after 5 questions, it looks like Team Tai Chi at Dawn, we have 30 points over here, and Team Jasper Improvement Society have 40, so very close.
All right, question 6 in round 1. The Scoville scale is used to measure what? Measurements can range from 0 to over 4 million Scoville units.
I'm locked in.
Roger, I'm
Yeah,
confident
same.
too. So
That's a spicy meatball.
Matt, please get back to your clerical work.
Okay.
Yeah, we think how spicy something is or the heat.
Yeah, thank you to Hot Ones for always telling us how many Scovilles everything has.
Yep. I think we agree,
Yeah.
Roger.
Yeah, it was the hotness. I think it's usually associated with chili peppers mostly, but I guess generally the hotness of your food.
Yeah, points to both teams. This is the spiciness of peppers or the concentration of capsaicinoids, if you want to get scientific about the whole thing. All right, question 7. What Italian businessman opened a coffee and chocolate shop in Lima, Peru in 1838, only to move to California a decade later amid the gold rush? The company he founded in San Francisco still bears his name today.
Yeah, the other name that I came up with, I think, is strictly Italian from Italy. So that one, I know it's in a lot of American cities, so I like that.
Okay, we're elected.
What are some other coffee chains, maybe? Coffee or maybe a famous chocolatier? Is this like a Ghirardelli?
Oh, yes. Let's do that.
We're going to guess
Ghirardelli. I like that idea because Ghirardelli chocolate's everywhere, and sounds like a very Italian name.
It does sound Italian, and so we said Ghirardelli.
And well thought out there. It is Domenico Ghirardelli.
Ooh.
Jeff, nice pull.
Thank you.
Nice.
It's the
And
first.
I learned in playtesting that there is a Ghirardelli shop in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, question 8 in round 1. There are 2 U.S. state capital names that also appear as one of the top 30 baby names for 2020. One is in the top 30 for babies assigned female at birth, and one is in the top 30 for babies assigned male at birth. For 10 points, name one of the 2. For a bonus 5 points, name both.
Little baby Sacramento.
Get
I
over
really
here,
wanted
Sac.
to name my child Des Moines, but my wife said no. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I have them both now.
All right, these guys are in, and what is Austin the capital of Texas?
Yes.
Austin, I think we should go with one.
That's a good one.
And the other one, I have no idea, to be honest.
Let's see. Charles, no.
Oh, Raleigh?
Oh, Raleigh?
Yeah, there's a ton of girls at the school that I teach at named Raleigh.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine with me.
So you're going with
So
that.
Austin, Raleigh.
All right. So Roger and I were talking. He wrote down 2 that I liked. He wrote down Augusta and Jackson, correct?
Yeah, but we're not going with both of those.
No, we're gonna substitute one for the state nearest to Illinois to the north, and we're gonna go Madison and Jackson, and those are gonna be our 2 names that we're going with.
All right, and full points to the Jasper Improvement Society. It is Madison and Jackson.
I completely forgot about Madison.
Excellent work.
Yeah.
So many Madisons.
40% of the girls that get shaken espressos are named Madison. Fun fact.
Is this from
Half
your...
It's now a data analysis podcast. All right, question 9. Aptly named after a high school movie filled with controversial acts, what code name was used for the investigation into college admissions fraud, the findings of which indicted 8 schools, 11 coaches, and 36 parents, including actresses Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman?
I'm locked in.
All right, I will trust Roger on this one, and you guys can talk it out.
Those twins needed that to get in from Aunt Becky.
I think I know what it is, actually. Is it Varsity Blues?
I believe so. I was just trying to remember. I know this trial. I know the case. I think it is Varsity Blues. Yeah, because he said lewd acts, or just acts or something, which you have the whipped cream, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what we do after we record every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
For sustenance.
He still won't respond to any of my fan mail.
Go down to the Ghirardelli and get some whipped cream.
What did you guys have?
Yes, we picked the highlight of James Vanderbeek's career, Varsity Blues.
And the only cure for the Monday blues.
And points to both teams. It is Operation Varsity Blues.
Awesome.
It's also the title of the Netflix.
It's a great documentary. I recommend that to everyone.
All right. And last question in round 1. Question 10. What West Coast rapper with 5 albums to crack the Billboard 200 charts between 1995 and 2018 has notably broken into the food and drink business with Earl Stevens Wines, sausages and ice cream under the name The Goon with the Spoon, and E40 Tequila?
Everybody's got a tequila brand these days.
I know.
Okay. I have a pretty good guess, and I will lock in for both of us.
I think if my name was Earl Stevens, I'd change it to something cool. So I'm not sure. Dr. Dre's got his hand in a bunch of businesses. Could be Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre's line of medical clinics.
My wife, who does student activities today, was here at my school, was just telling me about a hip hop artist they booked that was a blank with a blank. And if I wish I could remember those 2 things, because that would have been my answer. Goon with a spoon seems important too.
I was just gonna go my favorite West Coast rapper, the D.O.G.G., Snoop Dogg.
He is a businessman.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I'll go with that
although
too.
I'm pretty sure he's Calvin Brodus, but
He is.
So Earl Stevens sells wine, not necessarily red wine from UB40, but if you just take the 40 and put the E from Earl's name, we went with E40.
And E40 is correct.
I
and
can't even feel bad. I've never heard of E40.
Oh, you're missing out.
Aguardiente tequila is E40 in Spanish. So you're right on with that.
Yeah,
that
it
clue
is.
there.
Thanks to Neal on that one. Because I, too, did not know that name.
Not from the Spanish, that's for sure. At the end of the first round, it looks like Team Tai Chi at Dawn is picking up 40 points, bringing their total to 70. And the Jasper Improvement Society picking up 45, bringing their total to 85. Right before we throw it to Matt for the swing round, just wanted to thank him for being a patron and helping us on our road to 500 patrons. Jeff, we've been really excited by the turnout of so many wonderful people joining us on Patreon and helping us continue to do our bonus episodes and other great things. Anything else you'd like to say on that behalf?
No. What more can I say than thank you for your continued support? I mean, this show can remain free for everybody, except for our behind-the-scenes bonus episodes for patrons. But other than that, I think we've been able to do a lot of great things in our last 5 years, and we're excited about what you guys can help us continue to do in the next. So,
yep. Thank you for helping us continue to celebrate our 5th year anniversary. And for all of you that are getting us to 500 patrons, we appreciate it. Join everyone and join Matt at www.patreon.com/Triviality Podcast.
All right, on to the swing around. This is loosely inspired by Frank Sinatra's That's Life. The category is puppet, pirate, or poet. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to give you a name, and you're going to tell me whether it's a puppet from either Jim Henson's Workshop or Sesame Workshop, a pirate, notable enough to get their own Wikipedia page with, actual content on it, or a poet, notable enough to get their own Wikipedia page with enough content on it.
There you have it.
All right, so here are the 10 names in puppet, pirate, or poet. Number 1, Jose Gaspar. Number 2, Floyd Pepper. Number 3, John Drinkwater. Number 4, Sarah Teasdale. Number 5, Lionel Wafer. 6, Pugsy Hurley. 7, Siegfried Sassoon. 8, Abelardo Montoya. 9, Assad Bouya Abdullahi. And 10, Horatio the Elephant.
All right, we have all these names, and we'll decide if these are poets, puppets, or pirates, and we'll be right back.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end,
What will I become? Senwa Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Today's episode is partially sponsored by Zencaster, and we couldn't be happier about that. We love the product. We use it on virtually every episode that we do to get our guests to come in clearly. They have a great program that filters the audio, makes it easy to edit, and stores it online for us, too.
Yeah, it's a huge help that all of our recordings are backed up on a cloud-based backup system that Zencaster runs. And that way we just know that none of our episodes or none of our audio from our contestants are going to be lost like it was one time, which is still embarrassing. You'll never hear it.
Yeah, we can't control the Midwest weather. When the tornadoes hit, sometimes we lose power. It happens.
Not only that, Zencaster is super simple to use for our guests and for ourselves. You do it right in the browser. There's almost no learning curve. Saves us a bunch of time and hassle.
Thank you, Zencaster.
And let's get those swing round answers.
And we're back with our lists. Let's see how we did. Can we get the names one more time?
All right, here we go. Number 1, Jose Gaspar.
We went with poet.
And we went with pirate.
And Jose Gaspar is a pirate. In fact, he's the inspiration for the Gasparilla Festival in Tampa, Florida. You might have heard of that one. I think it's just an excuse for Floridians to drink more, as if they need them. Question 2, Floyd Pepper.
This sounded like a puppet.
Yeah, we went with puppet as well. I'm pretty sure he's part of Dr. Teeth's Electric Mayhem.
And you're absolutely on there, Roger. It is a puppet. He's the bass player for Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
Ooh.
Number 3, John Drinkwater.
For this one, we said pirate because drinking water is probably something pirates would want to do.
We also said pirate.
John Drinkwater is a poet. He was a frequent collaborator with Robert Frost, actually, part of their collective.
And
Frost and
teetotaler.
Drinkwater.
Frost and water.
Number 4, Sarah Teasdale.
What did we say? Poet?
This one, yeah, she sounded like a poet.
Might be a
And
pirate.
we said poet as well.
But we'll see.
And Sarah Teasdale is a poet. She was the 1918 Pulitzer Prize winner for poetry.
That's where I know the name from. My
Obviously.
deep knowledge of
Right.
Pulitzer Prize winners.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been studying your Pulitzer Prize winners for poetry, that one was a gimme. Next one, Lionel Wafer.
What did we say? Puppet?
We said puppet.
And we said puppet as well.
Lionel Wafer is a pirate. He was actually known as the pirate surgeon. He would help out with any cannonball injuries or
Does
whatnot.
he cut you until you are wafer thin?
Off, I'm full.
All right, next one, Pugsley Hurley.
So this one, Ken, you had something different. I was leaning towards poet, if that's okay.
That's fine.
All right.
We changed our answer to poet as well.
Pugsley Hurley is actually also a pirate.
Oh, sorry, Roger.
He was a Hudson
That's
River
okay.
pirate. He would terrorize the Hudson River back in, I think, the 1800s.
You know what's great
How
about
do
the Hudson River is when you dive in there, it's really good for your back. Not good for mattresses, Ken.
Oh,
For the smell.
Yeah.
My chiropractor told me if I dive into the Hudson, my back will feel great.
Matt's loving the Seinfeld joke. And
I
nobody
get
else.
it. I wasn't paying attention, but now I am.
All right, number 7, Siegfried Sassoon.
Great name. Hope it's a real person at least. We said pirate.
I hope it's a puppet.
And you're both wrong. It's a poet. Siegfried Sassoon was a poet he got famous for writing poems from the front during World War I.
Related to Vidal or no?
I don't know. Probably not.
Doubt it.
Yeah. Number 8, Abelardo Montoya.
We went with poet.
And we went with poet as well.
Abelardo Montoya is, in fact, a puppet. He is essentially Big Bird's Spanish-speaking cousin. You might have seen him. He's the 7-foot-tall bright green parrot that is, similarly modeled after Big Bird, but he's on the Spanish language version of Sesame Street.
Wow.
I only see 7-foot-tall green parrots in my nightmares, man.
Yeah.
Eat enough foods on the Scoville scale, and you will see 7-foot-tall green parrots. All right, number 9, Assad Bouya Abdullahi.
We went with pirate.
We went with pirate as well.
And points to both teams. Assad is a pirate. He is a currently practicing pirate. He's a Somali pirate boss.
He passed the pirate bar.
It's a bar.
Oh.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I was trying to
last
give you
one.
that low-hanging fruit there. I'm glad you took it.
Always. Last one, Horatio the elephant.
Now you want to say puppet here, but I'd like to think that's the nickname of a pirate.
We said puppet, but now I think you're probably right.
It is a puppet. Don't overthink it.
Yay.
Horatio the elephant is literally an elephant named Horatio.
So we got 3 of those right, which is statistically likely. So
Yeah, we picked up 3 of those for 15 points, bringing our total to 85. And it looks like you guys picked up 25 over at Jasper Improvement Society, bringing your total to
110.
110. All right, well, those are the scores. Going into the second round, we are ready for you to torture us, Matt.
All right, here we go. First question of round 2. What pop star's name, first and last, is an anagram of the word Presbyterians?
No, Presbyterian.
Roger, I think I have it.
Okay,
I'll lock in.
That is fantastic.
No, Presbyterian is when you only eat fish, right?
That is correct. Only fish. No
What
other
about
types of meat.
somebody with the last name Perez or
Rosie?
no?
Presbyterians feature prominently in the movie Roadhouse.
They do. You have to be in the good graces of the church. Give your rent.
Pray for your ruination.
That's right. Emmett, one of the best characters. Someone who has a Y in their name.
Britney Spears?
Yeah, maybe.
Let's go with
Yes,
it.
I
don't
like
want to
that.
think about the anagram.
No, I think Britney Spears is. I like that. Let's do it.
All right.
Roger, I put down Britney Spears.
Yeah, that's got to be right. Nice pull, guys.
And yep, points to both teams. It is Britney Spears.
Wow.
Very well done. Okay, question 2 in round 2. Alloy metals made primarily of copper and zinc are called what?
I'm a little out of my element, so to speak, on this one.
Very nice.
Yeah, let's stick with our original inkling.
All right.
So we're locked in.
Roger, what do you think?
I think it's brass.
Okay, that's good because I believe copper and tin is bronze. So I also thought it was brass.
Okay.
So
let's lock
we'll
that
go
in.
with brass.
Ken, how would Danny DeVito say that word?
Brass. Okay. We also said brass.
And both teams are correct. It is brass. All right. Question 3. Which film character, one half of the movie's title, was initially known as Experiment 626 before being renamed by the film's other title character?
We are locked in.
Is there an experimental dog in Turner and Hooch?
I wrote down Stitch, but that's not right because Stitch is not an experimental character.
But,
it's an alien.
But Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, but I don't think that's correct. So this is...
Is this the dog Marley from Marley and Me?
These are not genetically modified dogs.
Yeah, it only became an experiment at the end of the
twist
movie.
is that Marley did the naming in that one.
Pretty much. I know Stitch is an alien, but I'm fine with doing Lilo and Stitch. I think that was our best thing that we said so far.
All right, let's lock in with Stitch.
Could be an experimental alien.
Boo. Good for you. No, yeah, Lilo and Stitch.
Okay.
It is Lilo and Stitch.
Hey,
Neil was not happy about that one.
I was just happy I knew that random fact.
Now he sees it on the other end when
That's true.
someone pulls an answer out. It's not fun.
Why did you do the good for you?
When I said boo, it sounded to me like Christian Bale, so I was like, I had to do it. So
yeah.
All right. And question 4 in round 2. The first computer virus was created in 1971 as a test to see whether a self-replicating computer program could be spread to other systems. The program was given what one-word name after a Scooby-Doo villain? You might encounter this word while studying horticulture or playing Minecraft.
Yes.
And Minecraft for sure.
Yeah, you would know Minecraft better than I would.
Why would you know Minecraft? You're not a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Inside, though.
But he teaches 14-year-old boys.
He teaches Minecraft on the side.
If you teach 5th graders or you have a 5th grader like I do, your life is probably dominated by Minecraft.
So much Minecraft in my class.
All right, Jeff, you got any ideas?
I think we have enough of an idea here to lock in. So we'll lock in.
So
Jeff,
Roger,
what do you think?
I'm not very inundated with Minecraft. So you said that clue was helpful to you. So what are you thinking?
I think it's creeper, which also you could use in a horticultural sense to mean like creeping
vine,
stuff
creeping
like
Charlie.
That.
Yeah.
But could it be something else? Just before we,
I think
take
creeper
my
makes
first
sense for a virus too.
I do
right, if
too.
it's trying to like sneak in.
It spreads.
Yeah.
I think we should go with creeper.
I like creeper.
All right, we'll go with creeper.
Before we give our answer, I just want to say I've been listening to the Always Sunny in Philadelphia rewatch podcast, and I think it's funny that they call the people who listen to the show listeners and the people who watch it creeps, which is really funny. But we too said creeper.
And points to both teams. It is creeper.
We're kind of like a creeper because our voices are in everyone's ears every week. We don't even know whose ears it's in.
Yeah.
Some of you have come forward to admit that we're in your ears, but the rest
Whoever
of you
will listen, really.
Question 5. The equator and the prime meridian intersect in what body of water with a 910,000 square miles surface area?
I don't know how big 910,000 square kilometers is, but I have a guess.
Yeah,
So
I
the
got a
intersection
guess,
of the
too.
equator and the prime meridian?
Correct.
I think, I don't know if you want to trust me on this, Roger, but I can lock in, I think.
All right, I'll let you lock it in.
Geography is
Neil?
supposed to be my specialty, so.
What do you think?
All I'm thinking about is the book Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy,
Well, that's not it. Then.
which is not helpful.
All right. The prime meridian goes through England, I believe.
Okay.
So we're talking about the other side of the globe. I think that would be about the Pacific or Indian Ocean, perhaps.
Right.
Let's say the Pacific Ocean. Let's if you're throwing a dart, you want the biggest target.
I agree, and Matt is living near the Pacific Ocean.
All right, so we'll say the Pacific Ocean.
I believe, Roger, that this intersects just below Western Africa in the Atlantic.
That's what I thought it was too.
Okay. Yeah, which is what we put. We put the Atlantic Ocean.
All right. The Atlantic Ocean has a surface area of over 40 million square miles. And the Pacific Ocean is a heck of a lot bigger than that. This is the Gulf of Guinea.
Oh.
Missed it by.
I missed the square mileage hint. I just ignored it.
That's okay. After 5 questions in the second round, both teams picking up 40 points all in a row, but couldn't get that 5th question, bringing our totals to 125 for the Tai Chi at Dawn and 150 for Jasper Improvement Society.
Or as I like to call them, the Creepers.
All right.
Those are fighting words. We're going to send Jimmy after you.
That's right.
Question 6 in round 2. Who are the only siblings to both be inducted into the Toy Hall of Fame?
Oh, Jake and Maggie Gyllenhaal. I know it.
Oh, you know it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down the Parker Brothers because that's a board game brand.
It's pretty smart.
Do we have to know their names, Matt? Or is the last name fine?
I think Parker Brothers would suffice as an answer.
Trey Parker and Tony Parker.
If he asked us to be more specific, we can take a guess from there.
Sure.
But, that makes perfect sense to me.
All right, let's go with that. Parker Brothers.
I believe the entries in the Toy Hall of Fame are toys as opposed to people.
Oh, no.
So we went with Raggedy Ann and Andy as long as they're I think they're siblings, though.
Wow.
Is that why she's so raggedy?
That's going to take 2 well-placed beeps,
Yes.
but what is the answer?
That's the right answer.
I almost don't want to give points now. It is Raggedy Ann and Andy.
Yikes.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Took the air out of the room.
And
All
number
right,
7.
let's move forward as fast as humanly possible off of that one. Question 7. Which U.S. state is the only state whose name can be typed using only one row of a QWERTY keyboard?
We're locked in.
Yeah, I believe we are as well.
Uh,
Are you trying not to look at your keyboard, Roger? That's okay. I don't
Yeah,
have one in
that
front of
seems
me.
unfair.
We can lock in.
You've got an answer?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll
I
say
trust your answer.
Alaska, right?
That was my guess, and then after you had locked in, I did look at the keyboard to make sure I thought what I thought was right, and it is. So
Cheater.
That's cheating.
Needle is
we locked in already.
Hey.
Yeah, I started typing out Alabama and then Alaska, and I stopped at Alaska.
Luckily, it was only 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, both teams get this one. It is Alaska. Yeah, starting alphabetically from the top
Nice
helps
job,
there.
Jeff.
I love Jeff
Okay.
typing out just words on an imaginary QWERTY keyboard, just normally during the day, just kind of like standing there, just typing.
Well, how else am I supposed
Just
to
to
figure
make
this
sure you
out? I
know
gotta
where
go through the
everything is.
motions.
Yeah.
Because not like I know what the actual letters are. I can't like write out a keyboard, but I can type it out. Because
All right. It wouldn't be Triviality without a pro wrestling question. So here we go.
Matt, can
Question
you tag
8.
team in real quick?
Which pro wrestler, a tag team specialist who has won world championships in multiple promotions alongside his real-life brother, shares a ring name with a Jeopardy champion with one of the 10 longest regular season winning streaks in history?
All right, I have a few guesses, but I'm not going to get there, as quick as I want to get there. But we're going to lock in with a guess.
I have 0 pro wrestling knowledge.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's about where I'm at. So
That's
I'm
a
trying.
Neal and Matt sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to go through Jeopardy players who've won a bunch of games.
If you can't think of a better answer, we're going to guess Terry Funk.
From Roadhouse.
I'm okay with that because
Which honky tonk?
I'm
man do
pretty
you
sure
like?
Ken Jennings was not a professional wrestler.
Ken Jennings off the top
Or
rope.
I don't think Amy Schneider was either. I know Brad Rutter didn't win a bunch of games because that was during the era when you can only win 5. So he's famous for more of his like Tournament of Champions wins. So Terry Funk it is.
It's not that crazy guy that just went all over the board and just drove everybody crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember his name.
Something Hauser.
Yeah.
James Holzhauer.
James Holzhauer.
Holzhauer. Yeah,
I wasn't going to
definitely
guess
not
him
that.
anyways.
He's a chaser now, isn't he?
Terry Funk it is.
There's always Barber College. We knew of a wrestling duo that were brothers that have won a lot, been around a really long time, which are the Hardy brothers. And
Laurel?
Yeah, Laurel and Hardy brothers, the wrestling duo. And we know there's Matt and Jeff Hardy, and we don't even know if it's correct, but we just said we're going to go with Matt Hardy because of our host, Matt.
Ooh, right first name, wrong last
All
name.
right, yeah, right first name, wrong last name. Indeed, this is one half of the Young Bucks, as well as Jeopardy champion Matt Jackson.
That makes a lot more sense.
All right. Although I would genuinely love to have someone named Terry Funk just go on a massive Jeopardy run. It doesn't even have to be the real Terry Funk. It can just be anybody
cool
named
name.
Matt,
Terry
if we
Funk.
fund you, will you legally change your name to Terry Funk and re-enter Jeopardy again?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, any without question. All right. From 2 questions left here. Question 9. From Matt to Maddie. Matty Alou was one of the 3 Alou brothers that famously comprised the only all-brother outfield in Major League Baseball history, sharing the outfield in parts of 3 games for the 1963 San Francisco Giants. For 10 points, name either of the other 2 brothers. For an extra 5 bonus points, name both.
What
I
about
know
their
I've got
children?
one of them.
Oh.
Okay. I know one of their kids.
He used to pee on his hands.
Yes, he did.
He did pee on his hands.
When he played for the Cubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Noted peer.
Did the pee make his hands
Softer?
moistest?
I guess.
Matt, what was the name you gave us?
Matty Alou is
Okay.
one of the 3. We're
So
looking
I've
for the other
got
2.
one of them, Jeff.
Okay. Perfect.
Was it that one?
I don't think it's that one.
I have one as well, which I'm sure is the same one they have, and I know the other one's name, and it's like,
No, the one I have is definitely not right because it's his kid. So
Let's just lock in with what we have.
yeah, we'll lock in with this one guess.
So I believe Moises Alou was the next
That's
generation
the
down.
child, yes.
Yeah.
So he's the child of Felipe, which is the one that I have.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if there's another one. I feel like I heard this clue on another podcast, like literally in the last month.
Felipe
The Alous,
Alou.
Maddie, Felipe. I can't think of the other one though. I don't know. Maybe we just go with that one.
I think we'll just lock in Felipe and guess Moises for our bonus, even though we know it's not right.
Yeah, we just locked in with Moises.
All right. And 10 points for Felipe Alou. You might know him more because he used to manage the Expos and the Giants. And then the third brother is Jesus Alou. All right. Last question. Let's keep this last one simple. Of all the names to be honored with the Academy Award for Best Actor in a Leading Role, only 3, Jeremy Irons, William Hurt, and Jeff Bridges, have what in common?
All right, we have a just a random guess, but we don't think it's right. This is a tough one.
So what do you know about these wins?
I'm pretty sure I know all 3 movies. I
Okay.
think Jeremy Irons is for Reversal of Fortune, and Jeff Bridges, I think, is for Crazy Heart. Hurt is Kiss of the Spider Woman. The only thought I had was that they were nominated once and won. Like they had one shot and they won.
Okay, I like
'Cause
that.
This is for Matt. You said this is just for Best Actor.
Just for Best Actor.
Okay, so that's my only thought, that these are one-time nominees and winners.
No, I like that, and I think it fits well with something simplistic. So yeah,
That'd be insane if these folks were only nominated once, but it could be. We just said that they all played musicians in their winning roles.
Okay. And actually, I might have to go double check the only one once because that's not the answer I'm thinking of, but it's not necessarily wrong. We are keeping the last one simple. This is so stupid, but I love it. What does Jeremy do when his shirts are wrinkled? Jeremy irons. How did William feel when his girlfriend left him? William hurt. What does Jeff do at gymnastics class? Jeff bridges. These are all simple sentences.
Oh,
wow,
man.
There you go. That's good.
Yeah, that's a good way to end the second round. Both teams actually only picking up 20 points in the second half of the second round. So it's going to bring our totals going into the final round to 170 for the Jasper Improvement Society and 145 for Tai Chi at Dawn.
All right. So when I was thinking of a five question category, I was thinking of famous fivesomes, and there's no more iconic famous fivesome than this. Your categories are going to be Joey, Justin, JC, Lance, and Chris.
Beautiful.
And I can give some categories here. Joey is going to be a television question.
Whoa.
Justin is going to be a pop culture question, we'll say. JC is a film question. Lance is a history question. And Chris is a sports question.
All right, the wagers are now in. Looks like we will be doing 30 for all of them, except for the sports one, because F that, right? And you guys are going all in with 30, right?
Yeah, 30 on each of all 5.
All right, let's see how that pans out. What are the questions?
All right, here we go. In the final round, we open the coda to this episode with the category Joey. Which trailblazing Academy Award winner had a recurring role as pollster Joey Lucas on the TV show The West Wing? In the category of Justin, Justin Guarini finished as the runner-up to Kelly Clarkson in the inaugural season of American Idol. Today, his most notable role is as tiny pitchman Lil Sweet, who magically appears to hand people the diet version of what soft drink.
There's no way.
So there's
bizarre.
There's no way you could possibly know this, Matt, but in our recording earlier today, we had talked about American Idol and American Idol runner-ups, and this came up on the episode.
Exact question.
And
That's amazing.
Anyways, so that's a freebie. What's
What's
next?
From Justin to JC. What actor with the initials JC played a character with the initials JC in a 2004 film? In the category of Lance, before fixing their lances upon rival knights, medieval squires and pages would practice their jousting skills by aiming at a dummy target with what name? This word could also refer to the first stanza of Shakespeare's Sonnet 99, a stanza that makes the sonnet 15 lines instead of the usual 14. And finally, in Chris, what quarterback who led the NFL in passing touchdowns in 1988 and 1989 is perhaps most famous for an altercation on live TV with sportscaster Jim Rome after Rome refused to stop calling him Chris?
All right, we will consider these answers, and we'll be back. All right, guys, let's bring it home. We have all of our answers written down, I think. Neal, all done?
We're all good.
All right, let's get the questions one more time.
All right, so we opened the coda to this episode with the category Joey. Which trailblazing Academy Award winner had a reoccurring role as pollster Joey Lucas on the TV show The West Wing?
Yep, we went with Marlee Matlin, who is great on The West Wing.
That makes sense with this clue of coda. What do we have to say on this one, Roger?
That's who we went with as well. She's one of my favorite characters on the show as well.
Yeah, and the correct answer is Marlee Matlin. And yes, the coda was a little bit of a nugget in there in case you weren't familiar with The West Wing, which, why aren't you? Question 2, Justin. Justin Guarini finished as the runner-up to Kelly Clarkson in the inaugural season of American Idol. Today, his most notable role is as tiny pitchman Lil Sweet, who magically appears to hand people the diet version of what soft drink?
We had one version of this question last week, which is great because we knew it was Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, from Justin to Kelly to pushing Diet Dr. Pepper, we said Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yes, indeed. He's doing his best Prince impersonation as Lil Sweet, I think.
And just to reiterate, this episode is being recorded mere an hour after that question was talked about the first time. So no way Matt could know that. Just the weirdest coincidence.
Yeah, why two quiz hosts would gravitate towards Justin Guarini on this day?
And no berries and cream. We want the berries and cream question.
All right, from Justin to JC. What actor with the initials JC played a character with the initials JC in a 2004 film?
We only had one person of interest with this answer, and that's Jim Caviezel.
Yeah, and you're welcome. Thank you for giving you this answer about an hour and a half ago, Matt. I'm sorry for spoiling your question. We also have Jim Caviezel.
We're never gonna miss this question.
I was like, I had no doubt that didn't spoil anything. That this one was in the can anyway. All right, question 4, Lance. Before fixing their lances upon rival knights, medieval squires and pages would practice their jousting skills by aiming at a dummy target with what name? This word could also refer to the first stanza of Shakespeare's Sonnet 99, a stanza that makes the sonnet 15 lines instead of the usual 14.
This seemed like a riddle that we could not solve, so we just said the old pincushion.
Well, knowing that Shakespeare's sonnets are mostly quatrains, we went with quintrain, hoping that was correct.
And the correct answer is a quintain or a quinton.
Give it to him.
I don't know if the extra R in there, I think will
take it. Take the points.
On Jeopardy, you'd be wrong. On Triviality, we are better than that.
We're soft.
I don't know if we're better than that.
We're soft.
We're soft like
points.
We're soft like a pincushion.
We're among friends here.
Yes.
All right, and then Chris. What quarterback who led the NFL in passing touchdowns in 1988 and 1989 is perhaps most famous for an altercation on live TV with sportscaster Jim Rome after Rome refused to stop calling him Chris?
This one, I know who Matt was talking about. I'm almost positive it was a Los Angeles Rams quarterback. I just could not think of the name at all. So we just said a generic Rams quarterback.
If you have not seen this video, all of you must go to YouTube and watch it immediately. This is the famous LA Rams quarterback, you're right, Jim Everett, who literally comes over the table, turns over the table, and then attempts to assault Jim Rome live on air.
And yeah, this is Jim Everett, after Rome, being sexist that he is, kept calling him Chris for the female tennis player, Chris Everett. And Jim did not like that and did not take kindly to it. This was like a beef before Twitter also. So this was like you had Jim Rome had to go out of his way to really needle it at Jim Everett there.
After the final round, it looks like Team Tai Chi at Dawn didn't do enough Tai Chi to get out of the grip of Brad Wesley. We only picked up 50 points, bringing our total to 195. But today, the Jasper Improvement Society bled Red's store dry, bled everyone else in Jasper dry, and picked up 320 points, making them today's the cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop.
I think today's cream of the crop was Roger. He carried me through a lot of this today.
It was a great performance from all competitors.
It's a
good silence.
It's a team.
Get back to work.
No, there was definitely times where we were able to play off each other quite nicely here. So thanks for being my teammate today and carrying me certainly where I needed it. And
you too. There's no I in Jasper, Jeff.
That's true.
But there is an improvement society. So
there you go. And there's also an I in extortion.
There is. So before we let you go, Roger, is there any shout outs you'd like to say before we let you go today?
Well, if any of you would like to come and subscribe to our podcast, Roadhouse Minute, it would be great to, improve our number of listeners from dozen of listeners to maybe dozens of listeners. That would be really exciting. If you want to go like a deep cut into what my wife Marcy and I have produced for the internet, there's a little podcast that predates Roadhouse Minute, actually, called I Think I Saw That. And just really quickly, the gist of that is that I remember pretty much every movie I've ever seen. And my wife, Marcy, she can watch a movie today and she'll forget about it tomorrow. So we pick movies that I think that are well loved, and we talk about them ahead of time, try to see what Marcy remembers about them. And then we actually watch the movie and talk about it afterwards in sort of a more traditional podcast format.
That's cool.
So we're doing that. I will have other things hopefully coming out in the future. I've got some other Movies by Minutes projects lined up, but we'll put those in the feed for Roadhouse. And we're not, even when Roadhouse finishes, there are other movies in the Roadhouse cinematic universe that we will be exploring, some of which probably feature prominently in your book, Neal.
I'm sure.
I've convinced Marcy that the first movie that we're going to watch in total for the podcast is Point Break.
Oh, beautiful.
Which she's never seen before, and I'm so excited.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, vaya con Dios. Enjoy that. I think it's going to be great.
Nobody's going to buy me as a surfer.
No, I can't wait for that. So thank you, Roger, for joining us, for reaching out on Twitter. Make sure you give Roger and Marcy and their show a follow on all the podcast apps and on social media at RH Minute. At RH Minute, is that correct?
Yes, at RH Minute, because I didn't really know how social SEO worked when I set up those accounts.
That's all right. And Matt, wonderful game today you hosted for us. You brought the thunder, brought the fire, brought some great questions. The floor is yours. Any shout outs, anyone you'd like to say hi to, thank, all that good stuff?
Yeah, thanks my partner Gabriella for being quiet for an hour and 45 minutes so I can record this thing.
Emmy Award winning Gabriella.
Emmy Award winning. The Emmy's behind us here, flexing on everybody. Yeah, if you liked the questions, one thing that I tend to do every summer vacation is do some Zoom trivia nights. And if you are interested in playing in those, you can follow me on Twitter at Takimoto23x, Takimoto23x for information there.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for joining us. Matt, thank you for being a Patreon supporter. And to all of our other Patreon supporters, we appreciate your support. Thank you, Matt, in the studio, for making sure that we don't get our thumbs broken with our bookie. We appreciate it. For Matt, Ken, Jeff, Matt, and Roger, my name is Neal. And Matt, my name is Neal. That was Triviality.
Thank you, Neal. That was good, Neal.
So many Matts.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, guys.
Berries
so
and
much.
cream. I just learned very recently that when someone says, let's get down to brass tacks, I always thought it was tax, T-A-X, but it's T-A-C-T-S. Correct?
Tacts?
Brass tacts.
So what does that mean, Neal?
It's not tax like thumbtacks?
Or like thumb, or maybe, I have no idea. I just know it's not tax.
All right, guys, is it tax, tacts, or tax?
Brass tacks.
Let's take a poll.
Poll. Matt, you're doing a bookie. What do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
I am always against taxes. What are we talking about?
Tax, I was right.
Ken was right. T-A-C-K-S.
T-A-C-K-S.
Details of immediate practical importance.
Hey, for any of you out there who need a great platform on which to record your podcast, please use our offer code at zen.ai/triviality, a trivia game show pod. Trust me, we didn't pick that. But the offer is good for 30% off directly through Zencaster. So if you're looking for the same excellent, easy-to-use experience that we get with professional sound, please check out the link below.
Yeah, the discount code's in the link. You can use copy and paste.
That's zen.ai/triviality, a trivia game show pod. Links in the show notes.